Hello, I'm Lachlan and welcome back to my channel. One of my very first videos on this channel was working as a scare actor back in 2022. Well, it's been that time of year again, and once again I was back scaring children and adults alike, this time as your friendly neighborhood cannibal. It's important to note that in this case, scare acting doesn't just refer to scaring, but more so interacting with the guests and immersing them in the Halloween spirit. I worked through Unibros, which you can find more information about in the description, at Kolmården, which is a wildlife park nestled in the east coast of Sweden. The park consists of large animal enclosures, as well as shops, rides, restaurants, and immersive areas themed after the season. For Halloween, there are a few different levels of creepiness, so that everyone can enjoy themselves. The green zones are completely child-friendly, with focus on the coziness of the season, such as pumpkins and harvesting. The yellow zones are a bit more creepy for the children who feel a little bit braver. They focus more on a spooky, exciting atmosphere. The red zones are the haunted houses, the places where children are discouraged to go, and if we do our job right, the adults regret going to. This year I worked in a red zone, the inn, which sounds a lot creepier in Swedish. The inn is a place stuck in time, where the guests never leave and have turned cannibalistic to survive. They're mad, scary, and gross. Our mood board was based on the mid-19th century. Dark and dirty clothes, colors skewing towards the dark reds, oranges, and yellows. Makeup-wise, we were encouraged to use different kinds of fake blood, such as coagulated blood and scabs, as well as dirt, scary lenses, and fake puke. Yes, we were supposed to be very gross. And if that doesn't deter you from this video, I would love it if you subscribed. I create videos based on cosplay, horror, makeup, and interesting experiences I have. The character I created was Gerald Grön, or Gerald Green in English. He was a traveling merchant who found the inn on a cold, dark night while he was in between cities. He needed a place to stay, so he checked in, and of course, he never checked out. He wasn't entirely pleased about this, but you do what you can to survive, so he followed the cannibalistic tendencies of his peers. I used these lenses, White Walker Red Halloween contacts from Mocha Queen, throughout the whole season. For full disclosure, I did receive these as a sponsorship on Instagram, and I enjoyed both the look and comfort of them enough that I used them for every day I was scare acting, for about 10 hours a day. The hole in the pupil is a little narrower than usual, which makes your sight a little bit blurry, but also covers the entirety of your iris, which is a big plus. Several guests actually complimented me on my lenses, but as my character was more interested in eating them than talking to them, I couldn't answer. So I'm telling you guys instead. My costume consisted of a very orange sweatshirt, the pants I used for my Mr. Bean cosplay, a suit jacket my dad donated to the cause, a hat, and some boots. So we're a few days out from going to Kolmården and starting Halloween off, and this so far is my costume. I need to make some holes and dirty it up a bit more as well. And these are the pants. They also need to get worse, but so far I'm pretty happy with the amount of damage the bleach has caused, and I've ripped and cut a bit of it too. Du får inte gå in där. Kom med det. You're giving up. He also got this nice scarf that's just a piece of fabric. I bleached it a little bit. You can almost see it better on the camera than you can in real life. He's also got these really nice green suspenders. You can barely see the colors, but they're green, and I tried to bleach them as well. Nothing at all happened, except they got like squiggly. The great part about working in a horror zone is that it's less creating a costume and more destroying a costume. For props, I had a cane and some body parts on a string. So this is what I drew for my concept, and this is what my costume ended up looking like. With all of it gathered and weathered, I packed my bags and traveled north. From early fall to, well, early fall a bit to the north. Don't mind that I look a little bit worse for wear. I'm tired, I haven't slept a lot. I'm standing right next to the area I will be acting in. We are right there, you can see. It's the space. Yeah, so it's been a practice day today. And we've done some theater exercises and we've walked around and I've done my character work. It's not perfect. And like the others in the group said, we're probably just going to end up ditching the character concept and just scream and run after people. Yeah, I am feeling pretty good about this right now. And it's also really nice that we had a day to just get to know the space, get to know each other. The spaces we have is the yard by the inn, which is where the queue system for the haunted house is, as well as a short driveway and a small trail through the woods. It's not a huge area, but because it's so split up, it was very important for us to work together so we never left anyone alone. We got up bright and early for the first day of work. There was the morning meeting at 9:10, and then we had until 10:45 to get our makeup and costumes on. Since it was the first day, a lot of the makeup was experimental. Then it was time to go out into the park for real. I quickly found a nice rock to sit on, and then I started to explore the different ways I could scare people. I aimed to sit as still as I could with the hat covering my face, and then when people walked past, I started moving after them. I did have some luck with this technique, and I think it was a good warm-up not to run crazy and get sore the first weekend. I spent almost the whole day working in the woods, and the few times I was in the yard I had a hard time figuring out how to be scary there. I'm on my break, and I'm feeling kinda nasty. I'm about to black out. I'm scared of a lot of people. She's the poor man. From the area. As you can see, I had been drooling quite a bit of blood here. One thing that I noticed after the first day was that all my inhibition for anything that was gross had just disappeared. The focus was on scaring people, yes. But if you couldn't scare someone, you could almost always gross them out. It's Sunday, and I'm on my break. So far it's been great. It's the second weekend, third day of actually scaring. I'm changing up my makeup, as you can see. Despite the change not looking all that drastic on the camera, I did switch up my makeup quite a bit. I continuously had the issue of making my base makeup too white, even when I used grease paint that was my own skin color or even a bit darker. An ongoing problem we had was people mistaking us for zombies. And while part of that was because of the makeup, there's also a surprisingly blurry line between creepy fantasy cannibals and zombies. Some of the best scares today have been a lady who shrieked every time anyone got close to her. She didn't run, fortunately. It's more fun when they're running because she's them. I've tried asking some people to tell me, the people who like tell me their names, but I think it's too much of a switch to actually tell them. They don't get that that's what I'm asking. The only thing that's been less fun is being misgendered a lot today. It was 50-50 yesterday, almost none last Sunday, but today it's about 50-50, more leaning to being misgendered than not. I mean, when you look like this, it's not like it's actually a reflection of your actual gender, but it's still a bit bothersome. Good morning. It is a little past 8 in the morning and the cat is doing shenanigans. I just got home like 15 minutes ago, fed the cat. Don't worry, she has not been alone. I am going to take a shower and then go to bed right after this. I've been sleeping on the train, but that didn't do that much for me. Anyway, second weekend done. The highlights from after my break was this poor Japanese lady who, well, I didn't know she was Japanese first, but then I heard her speak Japanese. She said something with Nihongo. And I was just like, okay, think. So The first thing that came to mind was Nihongo o Hanasemasu ka? And I don't think she quite registered it first, but then she was like, not as much fear, but surprise. I mean, like, more horrified about the strangeness of that situation, which was hilarious. It was so hard not to laugh at her. Poor thing. There was also this kid whose family left him at the gate in between the little trail in the woods and the actual haunted house. They left him there because he was too scared to go. But I was there, like, scaring people in that area, and he was scared of me, which I noticed because I was going to go talk to him. So I was just like, and he was starting to leave, and I was just like, hey, I'm not gonna scare you. He was like, okay. I asked him if he knew where the exit was, and he said he didn't. And I asked if he wanted me to show it him, and he said his family would probably return. And I was like, well, okay, I'm going to have to scare people in this area. I'm not going to scare you, but you can stand here and wait as long as you let me do my job. And he did, and we had some fun interactions back and forth, like when I had walked past people and scared them, and I turned around to him and he was like giggling at me, and I was like, which was really fun. It was wholesome. It's a bitch of a situation to be in. I'm happy that I could handle it. Yo, she's a little bit distracting. So now I'm going to hop in the shower and then I'm going to pay attention to her. It's been a vastly different experience today. There's a lot more people, which is really nice. The day goes by so much faster. I'm not standing still. I'm not doing anything for a long period of time, which is great. And I've been gendered correctly almost the whole time today, which is fantastic. Basically, the only difference is that I'm not wearing a scarf. So apparently, scarves are feminine. I don't make the rules, the guests do. I don't know if it has to do with being gendered correctly, but people have been touching me a lot more. A man put his arm around my shoulders, which is like such a no-no. And one person, not on me, but very close to my face. So I've been breaking character like 5 times today. Guests crossing the touching boundary was a problem throughout the whole season. I wouldn't say that a lot of people try to touch you, considering there are thousands of people walking through the park every day, but I didn't have a single day without anyone trying to touch me. There are mainly 3 types of touching attempts. The ones who are scared of you and try to move you away, which is generally not a problem, it's understandable. Then there's the ones who fake attack you, like punching towards you. They don't touch you, but they definitely get too close for comfort. And then there's the ones who try to scare you, which are the worst kind. They don't necessarily touch you either, but there's a surprising amount of people who don't understand that they can't scare us, since we're allowed to scare them. Which I can understand to an extent, but this is our job. And we had to continuously tell ourselves and tell them that this is an experience for them. They're here by choice. We're here by choice as well, but we're working, and our job is to scare them. Good afternoon. I'm on my break as usual. About half of the day has gone, and it's been really calm. Today it's raining a little bit, so I'm wearing the scarf, and I was a little bit like, but gender correctly almost the whole time. It is now evening, and I'm done for the weekend, which is really nice. So now I'm just in the camp, waiting for my bus to my train. Do my bus, and then I'm gonna be home, which is gonna be really nice. But today has been a lot of fun. I figured out that my costume is pretty rainproof, which is great. I was like drying off some blood from my face makeup on the suit jacket, and I was like, oh shit, this is so wet. So that's a huge positive. Oh yeah, I also got to go in the actual haunted house, and it was great. It was so much fun. I went with 2 of my my other actor friends, But it was great. It was a really nice like area. The whole, like, it's built up amazingly. I'm about to head to the train in a couple hours. Now it's going to be the long wait, of course. I have a bunch of stuff with me. And my costume's still there, thankfully. We don't need to bring that home, but we do need to bring the rest of the stuff with us because we can't keep things where we're sleeping. So this is what I'm gonna bring when I'm going to be working 6 days in a row. So we have clothes for the entire week. Here's shirts, sleeping shirt, shirt to wear when I'm free. I get 1 day free where I'm able to walk around the park. Socks, stuff for the bed, towel, hair stuff, face stuff, eye stuff, hair stuff, deodorant, and lip stuff. And lenses, of course. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, comb, my medications and vitamins. I don't need to take that many pills. Snacks and a loaf of bread. We don't have access to a grocery store and it's much cheaper where I live. So yeah, why not? And chargers for my phone and my headphone, my makeup brushes, and then I have my makeup and hair stuff. I have a book, this Gorilla Grip for the phone, and my camera stuff. It's the first day of the break. You can hear my colleagues outside. Nothing much has happened so far. There's mostly children, of course, since it's break. Most of them are scared. Some are too scared to leave. But overall, it's been good so far. We're about halfway through the day. I know some will pee their pants, so that's too bad for them, but good grade for us. Good evening. I'm having my break a little bit later because I kind of just forgot to take a break. It's been really fun. I've been working in the queue a lot today, which I haven't done before. Like, I've been really working with standing still and then slowly moving towards people. Either just walking, so 1 step, pause, 1 step, pause, or just moving when they have their back turned. Yeah, and when it's the queue, instead of just looking at every group of people, you can find the person who's the most scared and then you can attack them, which makes the time go really fast. It's been very, very fun. Apart from the misgendering, but I feel like I've also kind of gotten over that and just like people are dumb. My boyfriend's free today, so I'm waiting for him to go by. I don't think I'm gonna be able to scare him, but I wanted to see him be scared by my colleagues. Funniest thing today so far, I think it is just like slowly walking and then like people trying to hide behind their friends when they notice you're getting closer. Someone took a Polaroid picture of me. It's so cool. And he was so scared. And he just snapped a photo of me while I was trying to scare his children. And he just like... And I took it and I scared him out. I've never appreciated a person more than him. That was the best experience I've ever had. It's so cool. since I didn't vlog yesterday on the recording, which is a little bit of a shame, but today's been fine. Yesterday was fun. I had a dad in an orange jacket who came through. He was so scared of me. So scared of me, which is great. Now he went through with his daughter, and I kept following him. The line was quite long, so I went after it, and then I switched to some other people, and then I went back. And then when they came to the actual entrance, you have to walk up a staircase. So I stood under the stairs and looked at him through the gaps in the stair, and it was fantastic. It was so fun. Then I had a bad experience. A tall grown-up man poked me in the sides from behind when I was very focused on some other guests, and I turned around and I told him to stop. Said that he can't do that, and he's just like, yeah, sorry, in a very cocky way. And then someone else who is up the stairs calls him the king, and he just like this towards them. Extremely uncomfortable. Extremely. Then I considered calling the person in charge of the park. If you feel like you maybe should, you should. So I considered it, and then I didn't. That felt worse than the actual thing that happened. Just like considering standing up to myself extra. For real, making sure he's not in the park anymore. But I didn't. So, yeah. After that, the dad with the orange jacket returned, and I've been crying a little bit before that. Yep. It's a rough job when stuff like that happens, because you're very vulnerable. But he returned, and I could scare him again. He made my day. Anyway, today has been okay. I got some good scares in. I've been touched in some way by 4 people today. It's a kid who reacted fairly by putting his arm up against my chest when I was very close to him. I told him, of course, you're not allowed to touch us. His mom said that too. A guy like patting my back. It was so weird. I don't understand the disassociation of not seeing us as human beings. Like you don't touch strangers. You don't touch people at their job. It's just, you don't touch strangers. Today is cold as fuck. Around 2 degrees Celsius, between 2 and 6 it was supposed to be. I have 4 layers on, and then I have my suit jacket. And this is the first time I actually have something else on my legs as well. Today's been going fine. I just told off a couple kids who were really loud and annoying and trying to get our attention in provocative ways. Otherwise, it's been perfectly fine. I found my syrup-based blood as well, and it's runny but thick. That's why I've got blood running down my nose and into my mouth. It is syrupy, it's sweet, it's edible. So I've been drying off blood and putting it in my mouth, right in front of the guests, just which has been hilarious. That grosses people so much. So I had 2 really fun encounters yesterday that I forgot to talk about. One of them was a little girl who was with her mom, and she was really scared of me. So she hid under her mom's arm, and then I crouched down, and she was like, "Fuck off!" And it was just so visceral, the fear and anger. It was really fun. The second really fun encounter I had was the mom was super afraid of me. The boy was uncomfortable, but I focused on the mom because she was scared, and she was hiding her face, and she was like, "Is he gone?" And the boy was like, "Yes, I wasn't." And then she was like, "Are you lying?" And he was just like, "Yes." And then I had to turn around not to laugh at that as well. As you can hear, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. I'm right inside the area where this little house is. But I'm having a lot of fun. Tomorrow, me and my fiance are going to walk in the park, and my colleagues are gonna scare the shit out of me. Some of my colleagues are doing this today too, and I'm going to scare the shit out of them, which is going to be so much fun, and they can take revenge tomorrow. After 6 days of work, I finally had my day off. Originally, I was going to walk around the park alone, but my boyfriend managed to switch days with a colleague, and another colleague of ours was free as well, so I had some great company. The first thing we did was going through 2 of the haunted houses, the one which I work in front of, and the hospital. This was so much fun. They're very interactive, and you get ushered around and chased. Then me and my boyfriend went on a date at one of the restaurants, and we had pizza and a pancake buffet, which was amazing. This is also when I realized that I was sick, but I didn't care. I was off of work, and I wasn't going to let a little cold ruin my day. We looked at the animals, we went on some rides, and of course visited all the other areas. Then when we got back to meet our colleagues in the evening, I realized I had a fever. So that's fun. I'm really glad I didn't realize that until we were done though, because yeah, I probably would have done it even if I knew I had a fever, but I'm glad I didn't need to know that. Good evening. I'm very happy with the makeup today. I'm very happy about this part of the makeup. A guest said it looked like my cheekbone was broken and sticking out. That wasn't my idea from the beginning. Yes. It's the second to last day. I'm tired and I'm still a little bit sick, but today there's been a couple of nice guests. We changed it up a bit, so we have one of us who's standing in the entrance to the little forest and doing some explaining, like, don't touch us, we won't touch you. It was also nice answering people's questions, the ones with little kids who want to go in. It's recommended 11 and up, but if it's too scary, you can go out again. You don't have to continue. There was an adult child and her mom, and I was scaring the mom. And the mom was pretty scared. She was like, no, please, take my children instead. There was also 2 kids who were arguing about whether or not I was a statue. And one of them, who thought I was like, but it doesn't have any eyes. And the other one was like, but the fingers are real. I'm just... That's real fingers. But anyways, that's creepy. But I do have eyes. Like, they're there. I promise. It's fun, but there's so few people coming now, and there's probably gonna be even less tomorrow. That it's, you don't really get going in the same way you do when there's a lot. You can't really move from people to people the same way. It's the last day. I'm taking my break outside today because it's Pokemon Go Community Day, and I really want to play Pokemon Go and Pokemon beer in the cabin. It's really nice. Like, it's a bit rainy, not bad at all. It's cozy. There's like no one here. There's kind of a couple of groups at a time, and there's nothing, and then another group, nothing, another group, which means it's very calm, but also that the time goes incredibly slowly. It's really nice that it's the last day. I'm gonna miss it. Looking forward to next year. Very happy with my makeup overall. It's like, okay, but I'm really happy with this. And then I got home. This season was so much fun, and I feel like I really grew in the way I approached this job. It wasn't until the long week that I really got going and felt like I could work all the areas and still be on top of my game. There were two specific things that were essential for me to get to that other level. The first one was always having something to do. And by this I don't mean coming up with a lot of random things to do, but one specific thing. I had this cane with me as a prop, and whenever the area was empty, I would swing it around. Then I learned how to keep the balance and continue swinging it around. Then how to catch it, and then how to switch hands in the middle of the air. After a few days had passed, I started to feel comfortable enough doing this in front of the guests. And I think it was so unnerving just because it was very unexpected. The second thing that was really important was realizing I didn't have to be active to be effective. In the beginning, I tried to be dynamic with the guests, like starting to move when they passed, or changing up my walking speed when they got closer. This worked, sure, but it felt repetitive and it took a lot of energy. I had all these small interactions where I didn't get to build up to a huge scare, and had to face new guests again and again. When I let go of thinking about the guests, things kind of clicked. I stopped being reactive and instead created a scene, whether or not I had someone's attention in that moment. The best example of this was when I sat still in the yard with the queues just snaking around me. I sat completely still, breathing shallowly and blinking as little as I could, until I saw and heard people in the queue watching me, debating whether I was real or a mannequin. This took a while because there had to be a whole new set of guests in the queue from when you sat down. Then I would pick out one person to focus on, and keep my focus on them for the whole time they were in the line. Even though I had focus on one person, I knew I had the attention of the entire queue. It was all about finding the unexpected and then acting on that. And that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. If you came this far, please leave a comment and tell me about the scariest experience in your life. You can find my other social medias in the description down below. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.